beard. We could do a whole common hour just on this artist and his paintings of Joseph with Jesus. Here's another one. I'm going to skip a couple here. This is a much more modern one. I love this one by a priest who's a member of the Order of the Oblates of St. Joseph. His name is Father Fabian Negrin, Joseph and Jesus. Isn't that great? And how about this next one? I mean, of course, the Gospels don't tell us any of these stories, but we're invited with what's not there to fill what's not there with what our imagination tells us must have happened, you know. As any father would play with his son in the water, you know. Maybe teaching him how to swim, maybe teaching him how to fish, you know. Had to have been part of the story. Finding Jesus in the temple. I'm just going to go real quick because we're running out of time. I love this one. Here we have just Joseph alone, right? So we went from no Joseph at all to Joseph on the sidelines to Joseph, he gets in the center of the picture, to Joseph alone. And here's another one of Joseph alone. Almost like a sort of a, notice the book again, by the way, right? Almost in the posture of a Roman or Greek philosopher. The wise, Joseph the wise. Another one of Joseph alone, and he has a compass in his left hand. The compass is really a symbol of God as the architect of the universe. And whenever you see the compass, it's a reminder of God. And it's sort of like saying Joseph, as the father of Jesus, kind of took on God's role on earth for Jesus. And so Joseph is much more elevated in this kind of a representation. I'm going to skip a bit here. Joseph and Jesus in Joseph's carpentry shop. Love this one, Joseph with Christ child. This is a lovely one by Michelangelo. Notice what's going on here. Joseph kind of has his legs spread open to allow Mary to kind of, she's between his legs, right? And he's sort of embracing Mary and handing Jesus off over to Mary. This is El Greco, really interesting, showing the importance of Joseph in the story here. Just want to say Joseph holding a book. Perhaps teaching Jesus the scriptures, perhaps helping Jesus read. It's really interesting what artists kind of come up with. Joseph on the side here reading a book again. Joseph, while Mary is feeding Jesus, this was a common theme. Joseph drinking. This is St. Joseph in Rio. A recent artist tries to portray Joseph and Mary and Jesus fleeing to Egypt as immigrants, as people crossing the border for safety. And that's a big theme in modern and recent art. Lots of paintings. We could do a whole other session on the flight into Egypt. Okay? Flight into Egypt. Flight into Egypt. Rest on the flight into Egypt. Joseph feeding Jesus. More modern painting of the flight into Egypt, imagining Joseph, Mary, and Jesus like people on the border today as we speak. Joseph, Mary, and Jesus, much more contemporary, the Holy Family of the streets. I love this one of Joseph holding Jesus on his shoulders. Probably everybody here can remember their fathers holding them on their shoulders, right? Flight into Egypt. We don't have time to play this. There's a beautiful Gregorian chant. This modern icon, the artist is actually in the room here today, okay? Jean Donnelly did this recent icon of Joseph, calling it the silent conduit for God. I think I'm going to have to end there. There's so many more, especially representations of the death of Joseph that are beautiful, but time does not allow today. But I leave you with this image, and thank you for your kind attention. attention, and go to Joseph. All right?